We're gonna go on. Alright people, back again. Open Hours continues. We are going to tackle this iPhone 6s Plus, if I'm not mistaken. No press on top two corners, no tight screw down. Okay, I like it. Improper English, broken English, however you want to say it, but understandable with where the parts come from, their point of origin. Alright, we got to go ahead and get this thing underway. That's the wrong one. That being said, here we'll get you down here in the action a little closer. Hopefully that'll keep my oversized head out of the way. Boy, I don't like working on stuff this close together. But what can you do? Okay, we've got those. We've got our home button bracket. We've got to move that over to, I'm fairly certain, yeah, after we unclip that, let's get some type of pry tool that will not be no metal. Remember, no metal. When prying inside phones and tablets, don't use metal. If you don't have a magnetic tray to sort your screws and whatnot out, then lay them out neatly in the spot they came out of. Alright, we need some heat. We're going to hit the front of this display quick to heat up the adhesive on the home button. Just blast the glass real quick with some heat, and hopefully it will let the adhesive peel up, and indeed it is. We'll go ahead and get our tweezers. We almost spilled coffee all over the keyboard. Alright, that's up. Moving over to the new one. As successful going in, I doubt it, but we're going to try. Or at least partially center. We're going to go ahead and snap our ribbon cable. Oh, there we go. That thing is allegedly charged. Sorry about the alarm in the background. We'll go ahead. I need to get a better camera for doing this. We'll go ahead and snap our home button ribbon cable back in place. And get the bracket back on. Oh no, we can't do that yet. We gotta wait till we swap over this back plate here. Oh yes, nice. Thank you. I will let her know. She's gonna love it.
Oh, yeah. Been after one of them a long time.
Present for Supergirl.
Yeah. I think that's been since I took her down to that one restaurant.
Yeah, she's been on and on and on about it.
She just loved that checkerboard built right in the table.
Anybody, if you see my daughter, don't let her know she's getting a checkerboard.
They're not the easiest thing to find.
No, they're not. I don't think... What's the consensus out there, people? Are checkers popular in 2019? Or is checkers just not woke or PC enough?
Probably all computerized now.
I think checkers, it's not woke enough or PC enough for people to care about.
I just found my last chess set.
So if that's the case, is checkers being marginalized, like minorities and stuff?
I don't know, we're going to have to get rid of the flooring in here, you know?
That checker pattern on it. No, man, we don't.
Some guys stopped down here. I'm sorry.
We don't want to join the masses. What?
Some guys stopped down here just a little bit ago.
Not while I was here.
He's going to be bringing 2 things.
So what we're doing here, we're going just around the edge of the iPhone, the little metal bracket that clips in. You've got 1, 2, 3 screws on the right, and should be 3. 1, 2, 3 on the left. Older models had more, way more. It is lunchtime, so we're going to try and get this done, and then I think we'll do a second episode later today, maybe an after hours later on, if we find something interesting, which we do have. We've got 2 interesting things here that I could potentially turn into an after hours episode. And then on top of that, this isn't ready yet. You have 1 additional screw up here that is sideways that has to come off. Once you unscrewed that, and don't mix it up. Remember, that's vitally important to avoid taking out your backlight or getting a long screw problem, which is long screw creates a couple different problems depending on model of iPhone. I wonder if Apple designed things that way, so it would potentially do that. I'm going to set that there. Now, the only thing left we have to do is move the front-facing camera, the speaker, ambient light sensor, proximity sensor, and I don't know if there's a noise-canceling mic in up by the speaker or not, but we're going to go ahead and attempt to take these screws out. And these are the ones that are fun because of the magnet in the speaker, so it tends to either steal your screws or move them when you try to put them in. They don't go in right, but very possible. Very possible to get done with some patience. Unless I haven't done an iPhone 6s for a while, so I could be totally off base. The good thing is Apple makes them. What do you need, man? You checking out the show, watching it live.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing over here. Do I gotta really peel that up before I put anything there? You would think, right? I think we do. I'm pretty sure it's a little blue pull tab. Oh yes. So when putting the parts to the new screen, you do have a little blue pull tab that you got to pull off there. We're going to compare the 2. It's right in. Oh, did he do the dumb thing and turn off autofocus? Let's see. Configure. Yes, I did. Sorry about that. The camera's gonna pulse a little bit when it gets to focusing, but might be beneficial. So you got a little pull tab that is in this area here where it looks like one of your sensors or something would go. Maybe not, I don't know. Anyways, it was right there. You pulled from over here. Pull that way. Now we got that off. Let's continue moving all this crap out of the phone. Oh. So your microphone is stuck down. It is attached to the assembly that you're pulling out. Get out of here, speaker. The whole camera assembly in that. Just be patient. Do not pull hard on these. Rushing it is not going to get any quicker or better results. Question is, how much of this do I need to move? Alright, we're heat gunning this real quick to release that mic because it does have some adhesive on it. Give me a moment. Question, is it enough? Is it ever enough? Alright, got some heat. Is it going to be enough though? We'll let our mic just lift off. Lift off like a magical little birdie trying to fly away. Alright, now let's compare the two, what we've got left to transfer. If anything, it looks like, if it'll focus, not much. We've got the frame for the camera there. We have everything actually. The ambient light sensor. We don't have any pull tab for that. Proximity sensor. The rubber housing for the speaker. Everything's about in place, so let's continue. Try and get this setup glued down into the new screen. Hey, who's dinging my phone? Spencer, what are you doing texting me right now? We're on the air, dang it. I'm just kidding. Boy, you think I should answer him on the phone? What do? Answer this guy on the phone or answer him in the video? He's got to watch the video to get an answer to his text message. Okay, so the speaker is that part. What a nightmare some of this, working on some of these things can be. Okay. We've got a bit of folding to do. We got the mic in. We need to get our sensors in place. After that, we will put our speaker back in. There's one. Let's fold our front-facing camera a little bit out of the way and try and get these sensors where they go. What would we need to do this? We would need a macro lens on my good camera. Yeah, a macro lens, and I could film this stuff when it was laying down. Alright, those appear to be in. We're going to put the speaker here. Which goes there, and then we have, there's a lot to line up. Basically, after you get your sensors and that in, you need to line the speaker up with the little rubber part where it sits down at. And if it's all not going together, that's because something is out of place. Something is out of place and not cooperating. There are little tabs that let you line up, I think, the sensor on the leftmost side, if that's proximity or ambient light sensor. And then you have the sensor right next to it. So it's just basically a jumbled up, folded mess of cables. Do I need that piece in there? Is that why it's not going together? Let's take a look. Okay, that piece definitely goes in. Okay, we've got the camera and the speaker setting in. Let's check the fitting on our sensors. We're going to hold everything in place, flip it over. It looks right, but it doesn't. So we're going to go ahead and check them by letting the speaker and camera fall back a little bit with the ribbon cable that goes over it. They are indeed in place. So we'll go ahead and put the cover on this and then get it screwed into place. If your cover doesn't fit when it's going back, then clearly something isn't working right. And we get the fun of testing this once we get it turned back on by placing a phone call and then put the phone up to our face to make sure it goes out, and then turning the light on and off. We'll see if the screen will dim automatically. Everything looks a-okay on the front. We're going to go for together. This is the least fun part, in my opinion, too, is moving these small components over. However, the price difference when you're buying the parts from a screen with all this stuff on it, which you can buy some places, funny enough, versus transferring all your old parts over, there's a great bit of difference in price. I guess because they're saving you the hassle of having to do it yourself. They're going to make sure you pay for it. I don't know. That's what I would say, man. Like, look, you're making us assemble this or a machine assemble it. Give us your dollars. You don't need them. Dave, why didn't you do this one? I should have let you do it. You could have did the stream today.
Yeah, I was streaming there.
We'll let you. You can do open hours. I'll cover after hours. You get to play with a wonderful, magical iPhone 6s Plus. Ha! Wonderful, magical device. Yeah, right. Give me an Android, I guess a Pixel now, any other day. I would say a Nexus. However, the Nexus project got shelved, so we got to go with Pixel now. We got to go with what they're offering, what works. All right. Giving this a little brush off to get any dust, lint, grit off of it that may be on it. And this is the part where we're going to recheck how this was put together. Okay. That comes down, yes, and then the ribbon will get tucked under there. It actually shows you, you have a little map here. So let's go ahead and peel this. Everything is packed tightly inside an iPhone. That's why when reassembling these, you don't want any grit between these two metal parts of the back of the LCD frame. It will end up, you'll get these splotches of like something's pressing on the back side of your screen, and you don't want that. Don't do that. You know what, I really have to look. I'm not entirely certain that this was under there. I gotta look it up. Excuse me, people. I can take you on the journey. We'll pop it up over here. Screen. Replacement? Sounds good. Okay, support. Let's go to iFixit. Good company. Not Apple. They work on Apple stuff though, so. tell me the important stuff. That's what I want to know. After you move your small parts over, put the screen in, show me the back of the LCD. Okay, as suspected, all you have is your speaker assembly here, then that next little rectangle down, and then the actual bottom of it is tucked under the metal frame. So let's get out of there. And get this underway. Right. Doesn't matter, it's not important, but I always try to get 1 or 2 screws in just to hold this little metal bracket in, sometimes opposite sides. It's kind of whatever I feel like going for that day, but there's no surefire wire to this. There's no wonder, no magic to it, other than most people wonder how our eyes can see these tiny screws. True story. We'll go ahead and put the top one in here to hold this in, and then we'll attach the bracket for our home button. A ribbon cable is connected. Let's go ahead and make sure though. We're going to use our pentalobe to, press in the center. It is down. And this is basically a retainer plate for the home button and that little snap down ribbon cable part there where the home button connects to whatever it connects to in the screen. Alright, we've got 2 screws to install here, and then we get to do the phone itself. Who's out there today? Anyone? No one? Yeah, it's alright. Oh no, we got somebody. We got somebody. Who's that, Dunny? That part is done. Give this another quick clean. Let the fun begin. Next question is, what order do these ribbons go in? Because I see that these, it appears these could go under that, that could go over. We've got to see what order they stack in the phone. That will make sense. Now, here's, oh wait, we're skipping stuff. We're skipping steps. Alright, don't follow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, do not follow down old Nick's path. You will have leftover screws if you do. So don't. Just, that's a PSA, public service announcement, just so you know. What's the G.I. Joe thing? Knowing is half the battle. The more you, what other stuff can we steal today? The more you know, the more you grow. Reading Rainbow. Come on, give me, please, somebody in the future, when you're watching this, give me some stuff in the comments. Anyone, someone out there. What other
or anything like that?
Anything at all. Tell us what other things you remember. Did they have air raids when you were in school or whatever? Like the horns would go off, Dave, and you'd have to get under your desks, or was you out of school by then?
Well, I don't think we ever had any air raids this area.
Right, but I mean, they didn't still.
The drills and stuff.
Yeah, the drills.
Just fire.
Fire drills. Okay, I didn't think, and obviously not in this area, but I didn't know if they still made students practice that way back or what. All right.
Yeah, single file. How do you do that?
Single file. Yeah, a mob of scared people. Single file out of the building. Come on now. Run for your lives! Fire! Fire!
I was just looking around for smoke. You know what I mean? There ain't no smoke, nothing to worry about. It's just a drill.
Yeah, just walk out. Alright, that was a fail. We've got to lift this little bracket. There, we got our screw back. Look at these, okay? That's how tiny those screws are. Right? Here is your regular. Let's see what it is. Here is your normal PH1 Phillips bit in a repair, you know. There's a PH1. Okay, and there's the screw on top of that one there. So that's what you're dealing with. Tiny. Nightmare. Yeah, I don't remember any other sayings. What was some of the stuff they said on Sesame Street other than the count? Ah, ah, ah. Two lost iPhone screws. I don't think the count ever counted iPhone screws, huh?
No, he didn't.
No. This is the fun you get to have when you hang out with good friends. At least I do anyhow, so. We'll count it like that, huh? Alright, almost. It's getting tense in here. You can cut the tension with a knife. Let's take out this one and locate it where it goes. I'm going to take out one more and locate it where it would go. And then we've got these awesome 5 at the top. The 5 we're going to take, okay, so we just took out the 2. I put them back in the phone temporarily and didn't tighten them down just to keep track of them. We have the 2 where the battery connects, and then there's this ribbon cable up here that's unplugged. We've got these 5 to undo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the first time in the video, the first time around in the first video that featured this, I think it was We Got Power. I took this screw out up here instead of this one. So we'll go ahead and take these back out. And that's where it goes. So an experiment, I don't know, anybody watching this, here we got to reply to a text. We got friends, family, who knows who else is out there. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Oop, wrong one, wrong one. An experiment was done, I think, with 2 iPhone 8s, where somebody ordered 2 brand new ones from Apple. Right from Apple.com, ordered 2 brand new iPhone 8s, I believe, and swapped the screens on them. And when they did, the adaptive, I think the backlight or adaptive brightness, something quit functioning in the screen. And Apple claimed that it was a thing for security. Let's take a moment here. Let's travel over here and look it up. Even genuine. Was it the iPhone 8? So who did this? Engadget. So they ordered 2 iPhone 8s, and what fails? The light sensor failed on it, which I guess would brighten the screen up and not brighten the screen up. Like if you walk out in sunlight, it's going to brighten your screen up, and if it gets real dark, it's going to dim it down for you, that ambient light sensor. So ordered 2 brand new iPhone 8s from Apple, disassembled them, didn't mix anything up, and just swapped the screens, and same malfunction on both screens. So it was an on-purpose sabotage, designed that way by Apple, which is goofy. I mean, come on, genuine. They claimed it's because people weren't using genuine Apple parts. Yet when somebody used genuine Apple parts, what happened? So yeah, I never did follow through on that to see what happened, but that was I don't like stuff like that, and when companies do crazy stuff like that. I'm not saying there's not other bad companies out there. I'm not saying Apple's bad. It's just crazy stuff like that. Companies don't need to be doing it. That affects the bottom line when you do nuts stuff like that. In my opinion. I could be wrong though. I don't have a multi-billion-dollar computer and phone and whatever company designing, selling, doing this and that. Okay, so the order these stack up in, it looks like they are in the right order. I'll be able to connect everything up. So let's go ahead and work on this now. When you're plugging these ribbon cables back into, and this is kind of common sense, kind of not, I guess, it can be an experience thing also. When you go to plug these back in, you only get so many plugs in the wrong way before you're going to spread the pins out or break the plastic, and they're not going to plug in properly. And then you're going to need a new logic board or main board, motherboard, whatever you want to call it, inside your iPhone. So try to get them lined up. Press down a little bit, and if it feels like it's going in place, give it a little bit firmer press when connecting these ribbon cables back up, and it will snap into place. Now don't go full send on it, and press right out the gate and break anything. Yep, that was almost there, but not quite. We only got 2 of these to connect, and they can be a nightmare sometimes. So let's take a look where stuff wants to line up real quick. Alright, 2 in. Let's go for that magical number 3. So we can reassemble this thing and get it far away. And this is the one that can tend to be a pain, at least for me. It's always my least favorite ribbon cable, and I'm starting to think maybe, oh no, that would be impossible. This cable, no way, shape, or form could it go under any of the other ones. There we go. There you go. Let's attempt to keep those clipped in. We're going to get our metal bracket, set it in there, and start getting the screws in it, and then we'll do the tied hold down plate for what do we want to call it now? For the battery that holds the battery connector and, excuse me, whatever else that other thing is there. I don't know all the parts. I just know a little bit about it, enough to not blow it up in my face usually. These tiny screws, that's another thing. I remember these all the way back in, and they were impressive back then, in like the old iPod video, like back from the early 2000s. Yeah, right? Insane. Alright, let's go after it. I think that's a mistake. We're going to go for some yeah, duh, that was the right one. Before I try to get the top screws in, and there's probably different methods for this all over the internet. I don't even know if anybody outlines it. I think most people just say, don't mix the screws up, put your bracket back in place, get the screws back in the right holes that they came out of. But you'll have problems with this bracket moving around as you're holding the display up, because the ribbon cable pulls on it and flexes and moves stuff. So what you can do is try and get a screw in the bottom right or bottom left corner of this plate. If you manage that, it's going to hold the rest of it in place for you. And you'll be on your way to being almost done with the repair. What is that noise? That's a horrible... That's that monitor buzzing. This monitor, I put a new DC board in. Did you see that, the board I sent you for that TV, Dave?
No, I'm just putting an account on this computer so I can just...
Oh. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I won't bug you.
No.
Shaking the bush over here. Shaking it real good, boss. Okay, 2 to go in this 5 screw. Imagine if you did these all day, every day, and did multiple iPhone 6S Pluses, 6S's, multiple different models. You'd be a lot faster at this. I, however, don't. We're not a certified Apple repair center, or certified Apple repair center. Nor would I want to be, because there's some stuff you can and can't do. They really restrict with like what you can repair. And then third-party repair is frowned on by them. Of course, they want you to go through them and pay their prices for essentially what sometimes is the same part. And Tim and I have went through a few of these things on the podcast. Other Apple fiasco things, like they had the iMac Pro out with no actual parts really available for it, and none of they were selling a computer before parts were readily available, and before their people with their Apple authorized service repair centers were trained on how to fix them. So selling a computer that you can't get parts for and your people don't know how to fix is not a good practice in my opinion. But what do I know? Nothing. Okay, we have 2 more screws, the battery cover. When doing these, and I know up like the iPhone, if you're repairing an iPhone, iPhone 2, iPhone 3, 3GS, iPhone 4, 4S, yeah. I mean, maybe an iPhone 4, I could see that if it's still usable in 2019. I don't think it is. Most of those models you didn't have to connect. In iPads, the earlier iPads, you didn't have to undo the battery. You could do some repairs without the battery being disconnected, but I would say to be safe, look it up to be 100% sure. iPhone 5 on, usually you need to unplug the battery first before you disconnect anything else, or you can just short out iPad, whatever, iPad mini. If you don't unplug it first, you're going to short other stuff out in the system by unplugging it with the battery still powered on. So now we have the dilemma of getting the battery reconnected. It seems like it is. Let's get our plate. Battery retention plate. We need 2 screws, and then the 2, what are they? Pentalobe screws, and this repair will be over. This iPhone will hopefully be great again. MIPA, make iPhone great again. Or make iPhone, no, Mega, not Mega, Mega. Make iPhone great again. People gotta be tired of that joke. I hear it all over the internet, YouTube. Dave's tired of it, right?
What's that?
You want to hear about MAGA, Make America Great Again, and MIGA, which is MIGA, Make iPhone Great Again. Mm-hmm. I'll let it be. I'll let it be.
I understand where you're at.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just thinking of.
Alright, there is, let's try and show everybody this. You do have on the top of your screen, you do have these couple little, that's where the screen is going to latch in and it locks the top part in. But hopefully we can show you with it focusing. Here, and then right above the ribbon cable. That's where you put that in first before dropping the rest of the display down in the phone. Alright, we've got no leftover screws, man. Imagine that. Imagine that. You'll have these things in a small town. You will have these things in a small town. Wow, that's really going back together. There we go. All right, let's reclaim this customer's SIM card out of the loaner phone that never got loaned, and get it back into the iPhone and turned on and see what the status is. Alright, we've got a backlight so far. Let's work on getting these pentalobe screws out of the old display where I've stashed them and installed back into this iPhone. So I saw that the phone did indeed boot. Let's press that home button. We do have some swipe functionality. Press home to open. Alright. Screen working, screen not cracked. Sorry, screen uncracked. We'll leave this little screen protector on. Probably trace out the home button, cut it out, cut that top tab off, and call it a day for this repair. Let's put the pentalobe screws back in and get this thing in its case. Uno, and not dose yet. We're getting toward dose. With these, you don't need to crank down tight. Just turn them until they recess in about flush with the case. If you keep tightening them down to try and get them tight, you end up bending the bracket that they screw into, and they strip out fairly easy. So, yeah, don't go ahead and crank them down too tight. They're not fun getting out when they're stripped out. Right, button, who got the button? Let's trim this stuff off for this person here quick. Alright, far from perfect, but that'll work. Let's go ahead, see if we can get this bumper style case on. It's like a bumper and then has a piece that goes over the back of it. Hey, this thing still has a headphone jack. Look at that. That is almost magical in 2019 with that latest trend of removing the headphone jack. I don't think the screen protector, the stock one's going to stay on. I always try to leave those on, let the customer take them off, but it's bubbling up. He's going to peel it anyhow, so be it. Alright, then that bumper cover sits into this case here. Kind of protective, not really. It protects the back camera, which has a crack in the lens for it. Let's look at the camera and see what the scoop is with it. How bad? Oh no, it doesn't even affect the display quality. No lines through it. Can't see the crack that's in the lens covering the rear facing camera, so all good. All good on that note. I would say that's what we need to test. He does not have, this customer does not have Touch ID set up, so he's going to have to set that up and test Touch ID functionality, which should work. And let's trace it out and we'll cut that out then. We're going to cut outside our black mark. Alright, so we're going to go all the way through the plastic, just kind of scoring it very lightly, and then we're going to lift it up and cut the circle out. Who am I kidding? This thing ain't staying on anyhow. But just in case. Right, we have a spot we can get under. What's for lunch? Pizza and fries?
Quite the combo, but it's true.
True story. This isn't Monday, this is Tuesday, right? It's got to be the most shabby home button cutout by hand I've ever done, but hey, we've got it. We'll trim the excess now. Alright, and up to this person if they are going the route of peeling that off, not us. We generally always leave them on. Most people peel them off right away. Some people see it as an opportunity to have some temporary screen protection. The thing is, with the ones that come factory on a replacement display, they scuff and scratch easily. And they don't last as long as the actual thicker plastic screen protectors, or better yet, the glass ones. But it does add some layer of protection. Minimal at best, but we don't want to discount minimal. Okay, bing, bing, bing. What's the scoop, man? Live late breaking news?
Break that, yeah.
What, this?
Yeah.
It's been, the job was shot before I turned the cameras on.
Yeah.
No, it's, touch functionality works. I think this customer will be a happy camper. We've made this iPhone great again. Thank you for joining me. Getting your hands dirty, hanging out. I'd be interested to hear those comments that I said about the more you know, the more you grow, reading Rainbow. I think that's reading Rainbow. Knowing is half the battle. Some G.I. Joe. I don't know the other stuff. There should be some other things. I got this old brain that don't quite fire like it used to. Your cheese is sliding off the cracker, Dave.
Okay, I'm gonna run up to.
Alright, well, hold on a minute, man. Maybe I want to go. I want to play. Field trip. Field trip. Field trip. Alright, well, have fun. Thank you for watching, everyone. We're gonna come back with something good here Maybe another open hours, probably not. It'll probably be an after hours, but that's yet to be determined. So, thanks again for hanging out. We're cleaning up our tools from this job. Yeah, have a good day. We have busted up test iPhone screen, but we're probably not going to use it for that. We'll put it back in the box here. Alright, have a good afternoon, and let me find out what I can do later on. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. If you do enjoy it, think about clicking like, subscribe, share it with somebody, get it out there. Let's build a community here, people. I want to get live chat going at some point. Like, it's going, but I want to actually get it going with people there. So, I'll see you in a little bit.